Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. This is Dalek 451, the new Dalek Emperor, and man, today this is a really sad day. Well, it was sad. It's sad for many reasons because one thing it's the 11th of November. That's Remembrance Day here in the UK. And also we have lost. The news just broke that we lost a legend in the into anyone who's a fan of an old school, a good old, an old school, more of an old school, more my age, and who's a fan of DC, of like we have lost the voice of what was his name? Kevin Costner, I think his name was. Kevin Costner, the voice of in my opinion the greatest Batman of version of Batman of all time. The from Batman the animated series from the early
Conroy.
90s.
Conroy.
Okay,
Yeah.
get his name.
Yeah.
Sorry about.
Conroy. That's all right.
Sorry. Again, I don't really. I only knew his voice. I only knew his character. I didn't know his name. Not really.
That's okay. It's kind of hard on an animated series to catch names as they go by, and that was a spectacular series, and he is my favorite
Oh,
Batman.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. The
So
animated.
it's too soon to refer to him as a was.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I absolutely agree. The early the Batman animated series from back then. That is an amazing series. Nothing else.
That was like the last great wave of Saturday morning programming. I miss it terribly. It's, I guess, 20 years
Yeah.
ago now, but it just seems
Well,
like the other day. And
it's 30 years ago
oh,
now,
holy gee.
actually.
Oh,
30
don't.
years. No,
Yeah,
30
I expect
years.
it probably is. That show was
Started,
so
yeah.
beautifully written and
It's almost as old as that
beautifully
show.
cast.
That
Everyone on
show.
it was elevated by the level of talent behind
Yeah.
the Batman the Animated Series.
It's a funny thing. That show is almost as old as I am. The everything about it is fantastic. The animation is the animation, the voice acting, the stories, the
The
action,
writing,
everything.
yes, it just goes
There's
to
just
show that just because
there's
something has been made with children in mind, with a level of simplicity, doesn't mean it can't have excellence.
yeah. I mean, there's just nothing wrong with Batman the
Yeah,
Animated
he was
Series at
really right
all.
at the middle, sort of holding everything together with that incredible voice and acting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I probably haven't seen. I mean, I've watched a good deal of the DCA DC animated series from back then. I've watched some good. I watched good few episodes of Batman the Animated Series. I watched Mask of the Phantasm. I've seen Superman the Animated Series. I've seen Justice League. You know, all those great shows.
Hmm.
So yeah, they were, and yeah, they were all great shows, and it wouldn't be the show that it is without that incredible voice from Batman.
Absolutely true.
So
I
yeah,
feel a bit gut punched about it. It's,
I have been meaning to go back and rewatch, well, pretty much all of that series for
mhm.
a long time. right from the beginning, right starting with Batman, right through Batman, Superman, Justice League, all of it. We need to go back and rewatch it all.
Yeah.
And of course the Batman the animated series gave us a lot of added a lot to the Batman lore. Like for one of the biggest examples, of course, is it, unlike most characters in the DC universe who originally starred came from the comics. There's one character from that was introduced in the exclusively in the from the animated series, and eventually became an important DC character in her own right, and that was Harley Quinn.
Yes, they made her up whole cloth. It's kind of
Yeah,
funny to think of.
yeah, she can't. Yeah, she didn't appear. Her first appearance wasn't in the comics; it was in that show, and
Right.
it was. And then we had didn't Mark wasn't it Mark Hamill who voiced the Joker in that show?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and and we've got another guest. Hello,
Hey!
hey, Potato Revan.
Oh, fuck. The bat has fallen. It's going up on all of the Batman Facebook groups that I'm in, simply just one message. The bat has fallen.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I was having a pretty normal day until I heard about this.
Yeah.
It's quite a. I mean, like I was saying to Tiger Strikes before you came on, I did. I heard this. I first saw like the first tweet pop up saying this guy had died. I was like, who?
Yeah.
And then it's just like the Batman TAS. I was
Clicked.
like, oh, holy shit! Like we lost the original, the greatest Batman ever. Oh man.
My thoughts go out to his husband.
Wasn't he
Now,
supposed to? Wasn't he listed to come back and voice Batman again? In something.
rumor is for the new Arkham game that just released, Gotham Knights.
Oh, all right. The Arkham Asylum games. Yeah.
hmm So I'm looking at his filmography right now. His last movie was 2019 Justice League versus the Fatal Five. His last TV show was an episode of He-Man and Masters of the Universe. His last video game. He's going to be in a video game, Multiverse, a free-to-play crossover fighting game. That's what he's in.
Nice. Right. Was he? Did you? And there was a special. There was a special animated movie that came out just not that long ago. I think it was like 2019
I
or
went to the
something.
theater to see that. It was straight from the comic.
It was
It's the one
literally.
that's Joker based. I'm looking
It
for
was
the
lit. It
title.
was really because it was the one I heard about. It was literally called. It was literally called Batman and Harley Quinn.
Oh, the one I saw in the theater was a while ago now. It just seems like the other day. But no, the one I saw was straight from a comic book and very, very dark, more adult.
Yeah, that's what.
He did a sequel to the animated series in an animated movie where where the actress who plays Bernadette, Melissa Rauch, she played Harley Quinn. And he was also, I believe, he was also the voice of Batman in the new Harley Quinn TV show, where he was absolutely hilarious. He was over the top.
Oh,
Was it?
he was Batman in that, was he?
Yeah, it's Dalek. It's actually quite good. You should check it out. You'll get a
I
laugh out
have,
of it.
I've seen, I have actually, I did actually watch the first season of that.
What do you think?
Uh, it's a little too typical over the top adult comedy for me.
I get it.
Yeah, because that's something I've gotten really sick of. Why does every so-called adult animated comedy have to be so freaking immature, over the top, and obnoxious? It's just infuriating, and because it's especially American ones. They're just
The one I was trying to think of was The Killing Joke.
The Killing
Yes.
Joke. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Where
the one I
it-
went to the theater to see.
Where he said the famous joke, two psychopaths escape an insane asylum to get up to the roof.
Well, that's
You're
also
looking at
the one that's sort of ahead of the comics. It's the point where Batgirl's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's where Batgirl becomes Oracle, and my God, what Joker does to her. I have the comic book. Oh, it's just insane. I don't know how they actually got it published.
I thought he just shot her.
No, he put
I
his
believe
finger
there was some
inside of the bullet
torture
hole and
involved.
wiggled it around, and then he raped her.
Oh my God.
I can't
Yeah.
speak to that.
Oh, I've read it. I have the book.
Oh. Right.
Yeah. It's also implied that Batgirl was pregnant.
Again,
when
we're
Bruce-
talking about implication. I don't think we're talking about something that was graphically shown. That's your perception of it, but it was not mine.
Give me 1 sec now.
But it was a very powerful piece.
It was.
Really beautifully done. And Conroy was Batman in that. To Hamill's Joker.
Yeah.
Right.
The first time that we actually saw Batman snap.
Yeah, you gotta love that. It's the first time I'd ever seen that animation in a theater as well, on a big screen. So it was very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those DC animated films, as good as they are, they get very little notice and very little
Because
respect.
of Marvel. Like, have you ever watched an animated Marvel show?
Well,
I've
sometimes
seen a few of them.
sometimes things don't find an audience, but it comes around. The audience
Yeah.
comes around in time.
I mean, as soon as a DC animated movie is announced, everyone gets excited.
Really.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear what the new guy in charge of DC has done?
What, that James Gunn guy?
No, the guy above him. The guy who owns Warner Brothers.
Zaslav?
Yeah.
What about it? What's he done now?
Hold on. I have to go.
Oh dear. Oh, we've actually got someone in the chat. Hi, hello, Hakeem. Hello, Dalek, Tiger, and Potato. Hope everything is going well.
Hi, Hakeem.
Sad to hear about Batman. Yeah, it's terrible. It's a major shock.
It is. I am a bit of a shock. I'm also going to say here that because I don't really get into people's business as artists, I did not know that he was gay. He was very quiet and he kept his private life private, which I appreciate in a performer.
What? This guy was... Seriously?
I'm saying that I was not aware of that myself until now. I think it's probably only been
Oh my.
kind of
Oh,
publicized. It sounds to me like he did want to keep his private life private, which I
which is
really
understand,
respect from a person.
which is understandable.
Yeah, yes, for everyone,
Which is
regardless of their
which is a good which
sexuality.
that is very which is very that's actually unfortunately that's a very rare thing to hear these days because
It really
everybody's
is. When
screw
people keep their
because these days
politics
everyone
private.
screams at the top of their lungs and
Yes,
I do this, I bang this person, whatever. It's ridiculous. Bang.
it's
It's ridiculous.
I find it pretty tiresome pretty quickly. Yeah,
So some
but
so
he was just so wonderful. I'm
yeah. I so
looking
the
at his
I mean
other credits. I'm gonna
but the
say too that
but the guy
when
who
when I first was aware of him as an actor, I often conflated him with John Glover because they were very similar physically in the face, and I had a little trouble keeping telling them apart. But I finally came around.
he's right. So, but I mean, I seriously, I cannot believe that I cannot believe that the guy who voiced Batman, probably the most, probably the most alpha male of alpha males, who's banged, who's slept, who's had relationship with loads of women. The guy
Batman?
who voiced the well, what?
Batman?
Well, yeah, Batman. Who do you think I
No,
meant?
I don't think Batman has relationships at all. I think I think that was kind of one of the
Okay,
things that
all
I
right.
thought was good about the Batman was that I really felt like they were making a point of his demeanor being really on the spectrum, close to autistic, a person who is so focused on what they're doing and what they're pursuing that they really ignore their personal relationships.
Well, um,
However, I will say that one of my very favorite short GIFs is a GIF of the animated Batman from the animated series. He's sitting on a curb and he's thumbing through what's the app, the dating app that all the kids that all the people use.
oh, I don't know. I don't do
He's
that.
thumbing through it, and with every thumb, one of the super villainesses comes up. So there's Catwoman, and then there's the Harley Quinn, and then there's Poison Ivy, and it's it is funny.
But look, you get my point. You,
Very much.
look. The simple fact is, it may not come off. I know it's just you could argue it's part of his act. It's part of his whole thing is playing the playboy when he's just Bruce Wayne.
Oh, Bruce Wayne.
But
Yeah, no, the classic Bruce Wayne always has a starlet or
wait,
debutante
wait,
on his
wait,
arm.
hang on. Did you think I was talking about the actor or the character?
The character.
Right.
No, I don't think Batman bangs anybody. I
But
really
okay, I
don't.
wouldn't say okay. I wouldn't say oh okay. I wouldn't say that, but maybe
I don't
not. But
even think he has an eye
the
for
si-
the ladies. That's one of the
he
things
d-
in The Batman with Pattinson. There's a scene where
the
he
si-
is trying to keep from being detected in a dark room, and Catwoman is right there. And he has his arm around her to keep her quiet and press them both against the wall, and he's not into her at all. He's really focused on whoever is coming into the room.
okay,
It's the
yes, fine,
dichotomy
yeah,
there, the thing that most of us would find arousing, he really doesn't seem to, even a
yes,
little.
okay, yes,
So,
okay, right.
I'm I'm just saying that's my impression of Batman in general, and Conroy as Batman certainly always seemed laser focused, that voice just zoomed in on whatever he was focused on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, I guess I can get that, but it's like, I mean, that's the whole thing of him as Batman. He's constantly, um, what's the best way to put it? He's constant. always razor sharp focused on um, whatever whatever mystery he's trying to solve, whatever crime he's trying to foil, or whatever. He's got no time for well, relationships of any kind. So
And we've got Canadian Spider-Man in the chat.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Spidey. Hey, who we?
See what you've started, Dalek?
Oh my God. Hakeem says, first time hearing you is gay, lol, but I always separate the person from the character. Yeah.
I love hearing that, Hakeem.
Look, the simple
Good on
fact.
you. Yes, me too. It's very
Yeah,
important to
yeah.
separate the actor from the role.
Look, but the simple fact is in the 9 cents out of 10, even though he tries not to be, Bruce Wayne or Batman, whichever, is a ladies' man. Simple as.
I don't think Bruce Wayne is Batman, but that's where we differ.
Okay. All right, fine. Bruce.
I think Bruce Wayne is the mask and Batman is the person. Of course, we are talking about Batman the Animated Series, which is the noir Batman, the darker Batman, the Dark Knight,
I mean,
versus the 60s Batman, the Bright Knight. I did not make that up. That's what the actor's family would call him.
Oh man,
the 60s show.
Adam West.
Yes, his family referred to him as the Bright Knight. It's so sweet.
The Bright
yeah. But we are talking about the Dark Knight here. And that is the character in Batman the Animated Series.
We're not talking about we're not talking about all the different, every single Batman ever. We're talking
We're talking about Kevin Conroy's Batman.
We're talking about the animated series Batman.
Yes.
Words. And okay, all right. So, hey, Spider-Man. Why is advice, Tigers? Try to focus on yourself and don't have relationships. Just
no, I don't believe I'm recommending that. I'm just talking about Batman.
Good day to you.
Yes.
I hope Revan comes back. What happened? He obviously got called away for something urgent.
Yes, he did. I hope that his and my disagreement wasn't something that put him out of the room. I disagree sometimes with people, but I try to be respectful. Everybody can have their own opinion, of course.
Right, of course. But I mean, maybe I don't know as much. Don't know as Batman quite as well as I think. Maybe
A Killing Joke is really worth finding and reading. It's very, very good.
I think I did see the animated Killing Joke.
And they toned that down a bit for the film.
Toned it down.
Yes, that's pretty common when you're making a cartoon, something that's perceived to be for children, even if it's at a more adult level for theatrical release. They still
from what I saw, it was still pretty heavy.
Oh yes.
For crying out loud.
Puts his hands on Joker, and that's not like Batman.
For crying out loud, there's the start of an actual sex scene with him and Batgirl. Or is that is from The Killing Joke, isn't it?
I think again at that point, Batgirl's in a wheelchair, so it depends on who Batgirl is at that moment in time.
Maybe I got it wrong. I mean, maybe that scene was from something else. I don't know.
That's possible.
Maybe that's
certainly in the Dark Knight. The series of Dark Knights, the second series, was pretty controversial because it was pretty clear that Batman was having a relationship with this much, much, much younger woman,
Well, yeah.
as he was in the first Dark Knight series. And both of these are by Frank Miller. They're very, very good. But some people really objected to that.
What do you think? They cut that scene, cut that part out or something?
Well, Dark Knight has never been made into a film. It's really influenced many versions of Batman, but the books themselves have not been made into any kind of film, although they
I
certainly
know.
should have.
I know. There's definitely an. Well, there's definitely an animated version of the Killing Joke. I know that for a
Yes,
fact.
yes, there is.
I mean, most of the when it comes to DC or Marvel for that matter, most of the stuff I know comes from not from the comics. It comes from the TV shows and the movies.
Well, but the comics are where it all starts, and they are spectacular works of art. It's not like the 60s, 70s, even the 80s, where a comic was almost like a soap opera, where the idea was just to get a new issue out every month, every other week, just to keep the story running. At some point, when they made that transition into a graphic novel, a story that has a beginning and a middle and an end, and then the artwork really stepped up a level. Just the whole, that's where it's really worth finding them and reading them. A lot of them you can read online these days.
Yeah,
Although there's
right.
nothing like having a book in your hand for me. I'm very
No.
old school that way.
Yeah, I know what you mean because it's I mean one of my hobbies as a kid I loved reading. I was when I was in when I was back in school, I would one of my favorite places to be was actually in the library, having with a
Mhm.
good where it was peace and quiet, no and a nice and a good book. I, I loved it. And I think that's where I think that's probably where I first discovered. And I mean, this is off topic, but maybe that's where I discovered Harry Potter. Because one of the books they had, was one of the Harry Potter books. It was Goblet, that's where I first read Goblet of Fire.
Is that your favorite?
My well, it's I'm
It's
not
very good.
sure.
It's one of the better ones, I think.
Oh,
It's
it is.
very, very, very good.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think mine might be Azkaban, just because of the introduction of Sirius Black as a character.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I found
I'm
something
not.
very
I'm
nice
not
on
sure.
Wikipedia about Kevin
I'm not.
Conroy.
I'm not
I'm
sure
gonna,
about. I'm
I'd
not
like
sure
to
about.
read, if it's okay with you.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure which.
Mhm.
I'm not sure which of the Harry Potter books is my favorite one, but I definitely know the Goblet of Fire film is definitely not my favorite of the films. Because, but okay, but if you want to read something from about this,
I
you want to
will. I will.
something about it from.
This is pretty amazing.
Okay. Oh,
After the September 11th, 2001 attacks in New York City, Conroy participated in relief efforts by volunteering to cook for police officers and firefighters. During an audio commentary on Batman Gotham Knight, Conroy expressed his surprise at the reaction of the emergency service workers to his presence. At the behest of another cook, Conroy called out from the kitchen to the dining area in his Batman voice, reciting the iconic line, "I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman." This was greeted by cheers and applause from emergency service personnel, many of whom had been fans of Batman the Animated Series during its airing in the 1990s. Conroy confessed to being humbled and deeply flattered by the reaction.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really something, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Just kind of makes you wonder what kind of inspiration he may have served to people who were young adults when they first heard him being Batman, and then 10 years later, they're firefighters and emergency service workers.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's
Yes.
incredible. That is incredible. It really is.
Yeah, that's a powerful story.
And Hakime says, I only owned one Wolverine comic I got a few years ago. There was no comic book shops around when I was a kid. Oh, well, that's a bit of a shame. Yeah, well, I mean, when it came to comics, and I never really owned any that were about superheroes. No, not really any DC or Marvel, but I did. I mean, that didn't mean I didn't read comics. Just different comics. Because I used to have. I think I used to have like this big size this collection of. I used to read the Simpsons comics, and I used to buy them every time I saw a new issue, and I got quite a got quite a collection of them, but I don't think I have them anymore.
At the point where the graphic novels were picking up steam, I took interest in the ones that my friends would point out, you have to read this. Watchmen, The Dark Knight. I also, because I was going into the comic shop, started collecting a couple of things that I was just personally drawn to. Sandman and Love and Rockets. And I was kind of relieved when both of them came to an end, and then I could stop buying comics.
Right.
But I do have collections of the graphic novels, Watchmen, The Dark Knight. I do have a
Yeah.
copy of The Killing Joke. Just the
Right.
power of them. Ronin, Ronin was a really good story.
Right. And
Electra
these.
Assassin. I don't know. I don't have a real big history of comics.
Yeah. These days.
But these are
I
like
am.
classics. They're classics. They're more than a comic book.
Yeah.
But yeah, Batman the Animated Series just really caught the darkness and the noir quality and graphic quality of Miller's Dark Knight, and then brought it into a simplification and a beauty of story writing that was just spectacular.
Yeah. And you can fit. And also, yeah. And it was really amazing that how like back then with good, with proper with properly good with good writing, you could fit a whole story into just 20 minutes, which is
Yes, and they used all of the classic characters from the original Batman and then adapted them, brought them into that noir world, redesigned them, and then all
yeah.
of these really strong performances behind them. And like you said, they created Harley Quinn. That's amazing.
They created Harley Quinn. She was originally
Having a character that can sort of stand by and stand up to the Joker, that's just amazing.
yeah. I suppose you could call like I hate using this term, but you could probably you could almost call the Joker and Harley Quinn like one of the first first examples of a toxic on-screen relationship.
Oh, I think there's been other toxic on-screen relationships, but that one really sort of, it defines toxicity in relationships. But I had a friend once
Yeah,
who used to say that it wasn't love that kept people together as a couple, it was interlocking neuroses. She said that a very long time ago. It made such an impact on me. But certainly Joker and Harley exemplify that.
right. Of course they do. They absolutely do. I mean, especially when especially see that when in especially some of the later episodes when they have actually try and actually a bit more focus on um what on episodes where we see Harley actually trying to actually trying to win over the Joker, and it's just not working. He just does not give a crap about her at all.
Oh, I think there's a little something there. He doesn't outright dispatch her. She's clearly on his team.
And we've also and I mean these days we almost can't. I mean these days we almost can't imagine Joker without Harley Quinn, because ever ever since then there's been so many adaptations and so many different versions of where we see the Joker with Harley Quinn. They're just intertwined with each other at this point. And 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 let me just welcome another good friend of mine who's just popped in. Hi, Moses.
Hey.
Hello, Moises.
Hey. So, I actually hear some voice actor died.
Yeah, the guy
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. I never knew who he is, nor I haven't even just got into the Batman animated series.
Well, I hope you do check that series out, Moses, because that is an amazing series that everyone should see it.
It's Mark Hamill's Joker is worth the price of admission alone as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even I could do a better voice acting of the Joker.
You think you could do a better voice of the Joker than Mark Hamill?
I could now.
And yet you're doing Mark Hamill. So
Yeah, to be honest, Mark Hamill isn't even relevant when he actually chose his side.
Yeah, well, this just goes back to what we were saying again. This series set the benchmark for Bat. It's the pinnacle of Batman. Nothing else tops it.
it's that fine line in between live action and the comic books. It's superior almost to any other Batman.
Yeah, but
for
sadly I didn't
cleanness
even
of story.
Yeah, sadly I didn't even get to it. But I would check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, as for the other list of shows I actually have on my list, like season 2 of The Boys, finishing Man at a High Castle, going through Invincible and Vox Machina, also the Terminal List.
That's okay. Actually, you asked. Oh wait, I don't, Moises. You actually asked me about some Amazon exclusive shows the other night. Actually, you mentioned Vox Machina. That's actually one show I've been thinking about maybe checking out.
Yeah, I've actually been watch. Yeah, I did watch Fox Machina, and it was suggested by Mad.
Oh, was it? Yeah, yeah, I think he mentioned. I think he recommended that right to me as well.
Yeah, and also me as well. And to be honest, Fox Machina is good. And I kind of just think that Vox Machina is kind of like a good alternative to High Guardian Spice.
Anything's a good alternative to High Guardian Spice. Well, almost anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay you don't understand. You don't get what we're talking about. Tiger Stripes.
Yeah, and also I do like season 1 of The Boys, which is also really good. And also
Right.
and also like The Boys does actually give a take on what happens if superheroes abuse their power instead of saving the world, and also
Right.
what happens if they don't even hear Uncle Ben's advice.
Nice. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's that everyone knows that. That's like the most. Everyone knows that line. It's been redone to death. Great power comes great responsibility. Everyone knows that line.
Yeah, but in the show called The Boys, they just throw that out of the window.
So it's just a bunch of this show isn't really about superheroes. It's just about a bunch of misfits. Who just do whatever the hell they want.
No,
Well,
in The Boys, the superheroes have become corporatized. So there's a corporation that almost owns them and controls their image.
Right.
And, of course, they're world famous, and
like
they do
celebrities.
behave without any, just like most high-end celebrities, people who have sort of lost their minds due to the money and power that they're given, and they act out in ways that are dangerous, particularly for just regular people who are flesh and blood, people who are not super. And so there's an underground of people who have been impacted by this, who want to
Collateral
expose
damage.
it. But
Yeah.
the corporation, of course, that's at odds with them. And that's sort of how The Boys starts out. And it goes a lot of different places from there.
Yeah, I have seen the series on Amazon Prime.
I've heard things about that series, The Boys, and I've heard that it's already ended, hasn't it?
No, I think they probably have another season up. I've seen the first 2 seasons. I have not seen the third one yet.
I only seen the first
It's going
season.
in a place that is making me uncomfortable to watch. I don't know if I want to continue. It's hyper-violent, lots of body horror.
That's the point, Sergeant.
A certain amount of rape, that kind of.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, I was a fan of Watchmen, and Watchmen deals with a lot of the same issues. The concept is, who watches the Watchmen? If they are supposed to be policing, who polices them? Who keeps them in line? Particularly with that kind of power, they won't be able to keep themselves in line. So that was done to a T in Watchmen. So it certainly springs from there and then just keeps going. It's very over the top in a lot of places. It's also hilarious in a lot of places. It's a very dark comedy.
And
well,
by the way, Moses, Hakim likes your Joker impression.
Thank you, Hakim.
And Hakeem also says Jensen Ackles is in season 3 of The Boys, and that might bring me around. I am a big, big fan of his.
Yeah, that's something I never really keep track. Don't really keep track of that much. Unless it's a show or film that I really keep track of like which actor is in said show or who's not because I don't really because
I
most of the
try
time
to keep up. It's hard.
most of
I'm
the
old.
most of the time I don't really care who's in the show.
It makes a difference
I only
to
care
me if,
about can they do a good job.
yes, it makes a difference to me if somebody's really good. But an actor can't support a show alone. The writing always has to be there. That's first and foremost.
That's very true. That is very true. Yes.
Yes.
Although to say at least, I only saw the first season of this show, and also I do know that the drinker does put a drinker recommends on the boys.
Yeah. Um, yeah, you meant yeah. I think he does. I think he did do that, didn't he? He did talk about it. It's just that I heard that the last couple of like the last couple of episodes of that really weren't that great. So that kind of turned me off watching the show, and also
Well,
I was a bit.
I also think it was a comic first. I
Yeah,
believe it was a graphic novel, and I haven't seen that at all. But
yeah, I just got some information on what was the boys like from the comic. I never even read the comic, but I did look on information on the comic.
Yeah.
I know some people were not happy because there's a certain amount of gender swapping of characters.
I can.
Which adds a different shading to a character when they do that. And I haven't read the comic, so I cannot contrast and compare here. I know that some people were not happy about that, and I can easily understand that.
I can perfectly understand that.
They've lost me on the filming of Sandman for that reason, for all of the swapping that they've done in order to appeal to the politically correct crowd.
Yeah.
Or how the drinker calls it, modern audiences.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to give that a pass. And I was a big Sandman fan.
Right. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know if I feel like bothering watching this show, because honestly, I'm just burnt out on superheroes. Because maybe technically I should actually say I'm burnt out on Western superheroes, because these days I think if I want to see superheroes, there are two amazing shows from Japan which I'll go to for that. So, like One Punch Man and My Hero Academia.
You know, kind of thought about it. Speaking of Western superheroes, at the second day of November, I did actually watch Invincible.
Oh yeah, Invincible. Yeah, I've been on the fence about watching that for quite a while. I mean, should I watch it or not?
That's what I'm asking the same question. Same question, Dal. Whenever I watch the first episode of Invincible, I kind of like it at first, but I wish it could have been better.
Is this another anime series?
No, It's an
not
Amazon original.
It's not it's not. It is animated, but it's not. But it's not Japanese. It's an Amazon. It's an Amazon series.
Hmm.
Although I did like the first episode first, well, I wish I could have been better.
I've heard mixed things about it. You know, like I've heard that, like, I know a lot of people like it, but there's like one particular character in it who's like horribly unlikable and
Yeah, I
and
think.
it also gets and the show gets pretty violent at times.
Yeah, that I'm with you on that. When I did watch it at the end of the first episode, I thought it's gonna be. I actually thought that this show's gonna take it a better turn, where it's actually about a young boy who has gotten some superhero powers and has been trained under the hands of his father, and then would have a league of superheroes saving the world. And I was hoping that, I mean, looking at this, I am actually hoping to see some kind of crossover between Invincible and the boys, but when I get to the end of the first episode, all of that has been washed away.
Wait, a crossover between Invincible and the boys. Wait, are these? What are those both? Are those shows both from the same creator or something?
Well, both from the same platform.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, they're both from Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And when looking, and when I get to the end of the first episode, it's kind of shocking. I am speechless when watching at the end.
Yeah, I've heard. I've heard. We just talked about the end of the series, the end of the season, or just the first episode?
The first episode.
The first episode, right?
Yeah, after the end of the first episode, when, well, I don't know if you actually saw the first episode or didn't see it.
I've not really seen it. I've seen a couple of clips. I've heard a few things, but I've not actually sat down and properly watched any of the show.
Is it okay if I can actually spoil the first episode?
I think I'm going to go now. But
oh really?
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Dalek. It's really nice to be able to express my sorrow at the loss of Kevin Conroy.
Which I didn't.
He really was my favorite Batman.
Which I didn't know, sadly.
It's a well, as always, Tiger Stripes, it has been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you very much for joining us for this little tribute. So, and I hope to see you on another stream soon.
Yes, please. All right.
Bye, Tiger Stripes.
Bye, Moises. Bye.
Bye, Tiger Stripes.
So, is it okay if I spoil the ending of the first episode?
Well, I was going to say, as long as no one on the panel or no one in the chat minds, but but before you, okay, let me just let's see what's been going on in the chat. There's not very much, but where was I? Where is it? I've done that.
Yes, Hakeem said a lot, but the boys.
You just brought a tear to my eye with that story about 9/11 and Kevin, Tiger Stripe's beauty. That would be amazing to hear that come over the loudspeaker. Yeah, that would be unbelievable to hear that. But I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. Just blast out of nowhere. That would be incredible.
Canadian Spider-Man says, can you bring that up?
It's
He says, reading was a huge part of my growing up too, Dalek. I read every single Hardy Boys hand cover. Did you ever read them?
Hardy Boys. Probably not. Probably not Spidey, because I don't know what that. I don't know what the Hardy Boys is. Sorry.
I don't think the Hardy Boys is available in the United States.
Why do you think it's just? Is it just a Canadian thing? Okay. Well, anyway, Hakim says Dean from Supernatural's in season 3 of The Boys. Oh.
Interested.
He did a great job in it, but you don't get to see him till much later. I do think the first and second seasons was better than this one. This one had some awkward nudity, lol. And a bit more of the things Tiger mentioned. I see.
All right. So is it okay if I actually spoiled the ending of the first episode?
Yeah. Well, all right, go on. I mean,
okay. So spoilers at the end of the first episode, Omni-Man kills all of his superhero colleagues in their secret lair when they're called in. Looking at that, I was really shocked and speechless.
I knew that. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I kind of knew that something like that happens. It was like this, the kid who is invincible. Like his dad is like some really extremely powerful superhero, and then he just brutally, mercilessly kills all of his fellow heroes and out of nowhere.
I mean, like, what the fuck was all that about? Yeah, I don't have any words to describe this. I was just speechless. And then the ending credits were silent.
Well, that's very fitting. That's very fitting.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, the end credits were silent. That the end credits was speechless too.
Damn, that is freaking heavy hitting. That is wow. That is dark as hell.
Yeah, it's kind of like the cartoon, kind of like that the animated series was spitting on my face for thinking that the whole hopeful things I actually have about the series would happen.
Yeah.
It just spat right through my face.
I bet it did. I mean,
yeah.
Talking about, as they so love to say these days, talk about subverting expectations.
Yeah, and it's not even the bad kind. What we got with The Last Jedi.
No, and looks like we've got and we've got someone else in the chat now. Hello to Stephen Ransom. Stephen Ransom, good to see you. Hello, chat.
Hello, Stephen Ransom.
Just passing through. Well, thank you for dropping in and saying hi, Stephen. Always good to see you. Yeah, he's a great guy, Stephen Ransom. Great. I've had some great chats in other streams with him.
All right. Yeah, and after watching the first episode, I actually don't think if I can continue watching Invincible after what I saw.
Well, honestly, I don't blame you. And we've just hit an hour with this live stream.
Oh, okay. I don't think if I can continue watching Invincible.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, from what I've heard about it, I'm just completely on the fence about it. Should I watch it? Should I not watch it?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, I'm sure there's some pretty cool things in it, but
And I know the drinker recommends watching this show.
yeah, because it's supposed to be like a very good representation, it's supposed to be a really good showing of superheroes. Excuse me.
Yeah, I actually thought it's gonna be like the good, lighthearted version of The Boys, but nope.
Nope. Okay, you know what? At this point, I'm not quite sure how long. How long I'm gonna keep this stream. Much longer I'm gonna keep this stream going for. Because unless there's like anything else we can think of to say about Batman the animated series, or the act or the voice actor who played him. Can you think of anything else? Did you ever watch Batman the animated series?
No, I don't. Not a single episode.
Oh man, you have to go and watch that series. It is the best. It's the greatest version of Batman ever made.
Perhaps maybe I will.
I strongly recommend you do go and see it. I say you do go and watch it. It really is fantastic. And oh no, I've got bots in the chat.
Oh boy.
Oh crap.
And Potato Rabbin is in. Oh wait, no, not really. Steppen says Potato Rabbin will be streaming about this later today. Come join.
Come join the mourners. Yeah.
Now you have bots through the chat.
I don't think he originally wasn't. I think I heard he originally wasn't gonna stream. He usually streams. He usually does a stream on Friday night anyway, he actually said he wasn't going to stream tonight, but because of this, I think he obviously had a change of heart, so he is gonna do a stream tonight, talking all about this. So. Dalek, you know you made it when you have sex bots in the chat. Right, of course.
Well, I guess there's no getting rid of these.
I suppose this is what I get. This is what I get for not setting the chat to subscriber only mode before I start it.
Yeah.
But no. I guess I'll have to get rid of it myself.
So since you actually had enough of Western superheroes by now.
Yeah, you can guess. I have had enough of Western superheroes for many obvious, very obvious reasons. Because and hello, yes, that was up in the air. That potato was up in the air. Potato revenue.
Yeah,
Oh,
the potato
got
weapon.
another. And look what we got here. Hello to the time. Hail to the time prophet. Good to see you.
Hello there, Time Prophet.
Right. Right. On this. Yeah. Like I was saying, Moses, I absolutely 100% recommend you go and watch Batman the animated series, and if I go and watch all of the DC animated shows from back then, they're all amazing.
Even Young Justice.
I don't think Young Justice is part of the same universe as that particular set of DC series that like from the 90s and early 2000s. Young Justice was made damn it. Something in my throat. Yeah, well, oh, looks like you're in the same boat as Moises, Time Prophet. Moises hasn't seen the Batman animated series either.
Yes.
Well, I thoroughly recommend to Moises and anyone out there, go and watch Batman the animated series. You will not be disappointed. I promise you.
So, anyways, well, I know you had enough of Western superheroes by now, but have you ever considered other shows you watch on Amazon Prime, like The Terminal List or Man of the High Castle?
Honestly, no, not really, because I don't know. Those shows just didn't appeal to me. I've heard plenty of people say how good The Terminal List is, but honestly, that kind of gritty, I can call it realism. That's not really for me. I like to have a little. Much prefer to have a little, at least some form of fantasy in what I'm watching. More down to earth, more gritty, reality based stuff. That's not really my thing.
How about Vox Machina?
I might watch. I might watch Vox Machina. I think that would be more my speed.
Yeah, it would. I mean, like, it looks animated. It actually had some dark comedy and adult comedy, but then sometimes seriousness. And also, what's better is it's a better alternative to High Guardian Spice.
Like I said before, almost anything is a good alternative to High Guardian Spice.
Yep.
And Time Prophet says the Man in the High Castle started off good, but went shite in the second season. Did it, Time Prophet? Moises, how much have you seen of this Man in the High Castle? How much have you seen of it?
I have seen. Let's see. Well, I did see a lot of the first season. And I think I've seen a lot in the first season. Can't remember how many episodes I've watched through.
Isn't Man in the High Castle basically about an alternate? Isn't it a
Well,
show about it's about an alternate timeline where where basically the Nazis won World War II or something?
well, yes, and 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 they're not the only ones to win the war.
What do you wait? Not the only one. What do you mean? Who else won the war?
Well, the Japs.
Ah, right. Yeah, because Japan was an ally of Germany back then, weren't they?
All right, I'm now on the Amazon Prime Video app, and
Time Prophet. Yeah, Time. What is this? Oh, never mind. Okay, Time Prophet says, yes, you are correct. Germany and Japan win the war, and Japan are in control of America. Oh, it's Japan in control of America, right?
Okay, so I did look, and the episodes I've watched are 6.
You've watched 6 episodes out of how many in the first season?
1.
What? Oh, there's only like 7 episodes. So you've got 1 left.
Well, no. There are 10 episodes in the
10 episodes, right? Okay.
There are 10 episodes in season 1, and the episodes I've watched so far are 6. I just have 4 more to go.
All right. You've watched the first 6 episodes of the show. There's 10 episodes in the first season, right? Okay. Yeah. If I'm honest, when I first looking around on Amazon, I saw the thing for that show, and I was like, what's this? The Germans are taking over the world. Yeah, no thanks.
Well, yes, Time Prophet. I am correct about Germany and Japan taking control of America, but however, Germany takes 50% of America, while Japan takes 25% of it, and the other 25% are the neutral zone.
I see. So the United States was taken over and then split up into different territories.
And to say this, I think Germany takes chunk of the U.S.
Right.
And then Japan gets the West Coast, and the neutral zones. Well, the neutral zone gets the mountain zone.
You mean like the Rocky Mountains? Because isn't that the mountain range in the United West, the western part of the states of the Rocky Mountains?
Well, yes.
Well, that's yeah. This I don't know if this would be a show. Would be a show I'd actually want to watch.
Yeah. I don't think it's actually not even for you, since it is actually a drama show, and there are some heartbreaking scenes there. Especially it's actually a show where it's actually there's actually a dystopian world about both of the members of the Axis powers taking control of America.
Yeah, right. And yeah, if I'm honest, I don't think I really that doesn't really do it for me. I don't think I really fancy watching it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's best to watch Vox Machina if you want to get a fantasy feel.
Oh well, that's just typical. They made one of the characters gay in The Man in the High Castle. Philip J. Dick didn't have a gay character in the book. Of course not.
Typical Amazon.
That is so typical.
For Amazon.
Well, not just Amazon, for everyone, for every goddamn corner of the entertainment industry. It's so typical.
Yeah, just so they can appeal to modern audiences.
Yeah, well, yeah, which the drinker actually did a video very pointedly pointing out recently did a video pointing out the fact that the so-called that the modern audience doesn't exist.
It never was. It never was to be.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't exist. It's a complete myth.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because the people, because as we all know, the people they pander so hard to, don't even bother actually watching the shows they try so hard to push to them. They don't. And they never.
Nope.
It was Time Prophet that says, strangely, I have seen the Terminal List and The Man in the High Castle, and I haven't got Amazon. Amazing. well, I'm sure you were able to dig them up to dig them up somewhere, me hearty.
Yeah, well, nice attempt of a Joker impression, Dal.
I wasn't doing the Joker. I was doing a I was doing a pirate. Because you know.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you get
it. Yeah, but also I just use Amazon Prime just so I can actually get some of the DVDs. I wanted like Starship Troopers and
I got my exactly. He got his eye patch and parrots.
Yeah, a parrot.
And also we've actually got someone else, another good friend of mine in the chat. Hail to son of a red shirt. Dalek 451 and all the super cool peeps here tonight. Cheers. Heartbreaking news about Kevin forever to be rightfully remembered as the voice of Batman. Yeah, exactly. Son of a red shirt. Absolutely. Couldn't have put it better myself.
I'm let's look over. I'm actually trying to do a pair impression. Let's see. Let's go watch the shows where I'll paint some booty.
All right. Well, I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's funny you should mention that, bring that up, Time Provident, because I actually recently, I actually recently finally unsubbed from both Disney Plus and Netflix because it finally hit me. Because it just hit me. Most of this, there really isn't that much stuff to watch on those services, especially on Disney Plus, and well, most of the stuff I'd want to watch on them, I can easily watch elsewhere, if you get what I mean.
Yep. Although, you're... I'm actually...
And Time Perfect goes on to say, Adam West is the only voice of Batman for me. Right. And then he says, and then he goes and say, I get Disney Plus for free and nothing to watch. I'm watching Alias at the moment. Alias? What's Alias? I think.
I don't know.
Oh, hello. Time Prophet then says, I'm currently watching the original Incredible Hulk. Really good. Oh, wow. You mean the original? When you say the original Incredible Hulk, do you mean what, the live action Incredible Hulk from the was it the 70s or 80s? That Hulk?
Or maybe he's watching the animated series of Hulk, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it says Alias is a series from early 2000-ish about a secret CIA organization with Jennifer Garner. Ah, right. Yes, with Bill. Right. Yes, with Bill Bixby. Right. Yeah, I remember that series, the old live action Incredible Hulk, because they used to show that on Saturday mornings on Channel 5 when I was a kid. They actually reran that on Channel 5 when I was young. And man, Stephen Ransom says, "Son of a red shirt, Kevin will be remembered on Veterans Day." Oh yeah, I've heard it's Veterans Day, and it's also
it is Veterans Day here in the U.S.
and it's Remembrance Day here in the UK.
Well, I'm guessing it's the right time to remember the voice actor that just died.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a pretty perfect time. It is a perfect time because that's exactly what today, the 11th of November, is all about.
Veterans Day and Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
Even I have an American flag on my room, so I guess I actually still remember the veterans that just died to protect this country.
Right. Yeah. I remember back in school, we'd always have a. I'm pretty sure it was on Remembrance Day that at some point during the day we get an announcement from the over the the school's sound system that the whole school was gonna hold a 2 minute silence at 11 o'clock. At like they always do at 11 o'clock.
The
And
11th.
that's always been a tradition here in the UK. The 2 minute silence.
Let's see, November 11th, 11 o'clock, 11. Wait, aren't you sure that Remembrance Day is actually the day where the armistice was signed?
I think it may have been. Yeah, I think that was. But 11th of the 11th of the 11th. That's like
The armistice.
Yeah.
Well, I like it.
Time Prophet, son of a red shirt. Hey Stephen, hope you're good, pal. It's Remembrance Day here in Canada, also England as well. The name we give to our Veterans Day, just FYI. Yeah, exactly. Son of a red shirt. That's Remembrance Day is our version of Veterans Day.
Now that I thought about it, November 11th and also November 11th. November 11th is actually the day where Skyrim came out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I did remember. It just came out on November 11th, 2011.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just remembered.
Yes, good. Yeah. Yes, Time Prophet. That is a good point. Our country is called Great Britain. England is only part of our country. Yes, you're right. Right.
Yep.
That's what. Yeah, I mean, and that's a very common. Unfortunately that's a very common misconception that especially if you're from America, that the United Kingdom is just England and London.
Yeah.
They don't even know. They don't even know about Wales or Scotland.
Or Northern Ireland. And speaking of London, so remember how we actually had that chat about talking about Doctor Who?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was gonna. I have said like multiple times that one of my future live streams would exclusively would just be an open chat about Doctor Who. Yeah, but obviously that stream is not this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, but if we want to talk about Doctor Who, sure.
Well, to say at least, I did say that I watched the first episode of the Ninth Doctor.
Yes. Yeah, right. as we were discussing last night. So yeah, so you say so you watched Rose, that first episode.
Mm-hmm.
And over. So what are your general thoughts on it?
Well, I think that. Well, for my thoughts on it, it's actually a great introduction.
Oh, I agree. It definitely is. It sets up that first episode in just 45 minutes. sets up and introduces you to the world of Doctor Who very well.
Especially when watching the show about the living plastic, and also Rose having her new path set up. We actually get a bit of lore about the Doctor.
We do. We get we get a bit of background about him. And also I wanted to explain this to you last night, but
about the new monsters in Who.
Yes, Time Prophet. If you want to be technical, yes, Ian and Barbara in the first classic episode of Doctor Who.
For the first Doctor.
Yeah, for the first Doctor, for William Hartnell. Man, you have to. God, Time Prophet. You always have to be so goddamn. You have to be so goddamn pedantic. Anyway, as I was saying, and the first episode of new Doctor Who, yeah, actually the very first monster we see is a creature called the Nestines, or as their dummy puppets are called, the Autons. And the actual, like, oh, for God's sake, will you stop whinging about modern Who, Time Prophet?
Time Prophet, if you speak out of turn, you will be exterminated. Yeah, he will be exterminated for it, right?
I'm getting tired of your attitude, Time Prophet. So anyway, as I was saying, the Nestines or the Autons, whichever you want to go with. This isn't the first time they've been in Doctor Who. They were at first appeared in the classic series in John Pertwee's era, the third Doctor. In fact, the Autons are actually the very first monster that John Pertwee faced right after his regeneration from Patrick Troughton. And he actually faced them twice, because he faced them in his first story, and then he faced them in a later story involved where the Nestines were actually working together with the Master.
You know, Dal, you might as well show me that. You might as well show me the episodes where these monsters you're talking about appear in classic Who.
Well, there's not much. There's not much to see really, because they only appeared in like two stories in the classic series. So the first one, which was John Pertwee's first story, it's called Spearhead from Space, and then the second one, when they came back, I think it was called Terror of the Autons.
Spearhead from Space, Terror from the Autons. I need something to write down. Where? Oh, come on, now I need a pen. Oh, Terror of the Autons, said the Time Prophet.
Yes. Thank you for that, Time Prophet. Yes, Terror of the Autons.
Where is that? Where's that pen? Perhaps I should sell for coloring pencils. There it is. No, where the heck is that? Perhaps I should just do my. Perhaps I should just do my journal. All right, let's see. So, what was the episode's name again?
The first one was Spearhead from Space, and
And the second?
Terror of the Autons.
Terror of the. All right, now I got these. All right, so now I got these episodes written down.
Yeah. Right. So you've got that's something. Right. So that's something else for you to check out from classic Doctor Who. And speaking of, since we're on the subject, a few days last week, I wanted to do a live stream talking about this, but I actually went to throughout October. They had there was a Doctor Who exhibit which was being held at this World Museum in Liverpool, and just a few. And last week, I actually went to that exhibit before it was closed down, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. That's some really awesome stuff in this exhibit. Especially loved when we got to the part of it which called the Monster Vault, and it had so many different really classic old school Doctor Who monsters. There was an original design Dalek from the 1960s. We saw they had Davros from Terry. They had Terry Malloy's costume of Davros from the 80s. And they had all these different not whole Cybermen. They had the heads of different Cybermen from all these different classic era Cybermen stories. They had I think they pretty much had them all. Every version of the Cybermen throughout all of Doctor Who. It was really cool. And then there were a few other things they had. I think they had an original costume of for an ice warrior. There was silence hanging from the ceiling. That was and there was lots of great stuff in there, and a bit further back in the one of the other things they had was had a display case full with which had all the different sonic screwdrivers of each Doctor. That was really cool to see. And I think one of the first things you see when you walk into the exhibit, you actually walk through the doors of the TARDIS to actually enter the main part of the exhibit. That was awesome. And then you walk inside, and the first thing you see is I think it was most likely a reconstruction of the original console from William Hartnell's original TARDIS. That was great.
The first Doctor's TARDIS.
Yeah, the first Doctor's TARDIS, the original version of the TARDIS of the TARDIS console. And right next, and also right next to it, they actually had William Hartnell's costume. That was great.
Mm-hmm. I wish I was there to see the Monster Vault and also the TARDIS.
Yeah, you should have seen the Monster Vault. There was some great stuff in there. There was even there was even a Dalek which had like the back of it, the back cut open, so you could actually step inside it and you could have your picture taken of you manipulating the arm and the gun. Yeah.
Have you tried it before? Have you tried that?
I did try it while I was there. Yeah.
So you can live out your fantasies as the Dalek Emperor.
Yeah, and even better than that, they also had a what's called a ring modulator set up that people could actually use.
What does that do?
Do you know what a ring modulator is?
No, I don't.
It's basically a piece of equipment that's it's a piece of equipment that changes your voice basically, and it's what they use to actually do the voice of a Dalek, a ring modulator. So you could actually just, all you had to do is like push the red record button on the screen, speak into this microphone, exterminate, and then your voice would just boom, and then press the play button, the voice would boom out for everyone to hear. It's like going exterminate. It was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, also it appeared when I was turning on Pluto TV, it appears that Power of the Daleks was on.
Power of the Daleks. That's a really good one.
It seems that they just made an animated black and white version of the show.
Oh, wait, was it? You say Power of the Daleks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, Power of the Daleks. Yeah, that's a true classic. But that was Patrick Troughton's first ever Doctor Who story.
I mean, like, when looking at this, now I'm looking at it right now, and it appears that the animation looks like it came from Fallout 2's cutscene.
I doubt that.
Well, it just came from the first intro of Fallout 2 with the animated so to explain this, it it kind of looks like the animated intro of Fallout 2, the animation. And also, when looking at this show, also, I think I actually know how the Daleks were made.
Well, they do. Well, in power. Well, yeah. In power, they do. They basically the capsule, the Dalek capsule that crash lands on this. I think it was called. I think the planet was. It's called the planet Vulcan or something like that, and basically it turns out inside this capsule is this basically this factory or production line that produce that they can basically build a whole army of Daleks in like minutes.
Kind of like the droid factory on Geonosis. It's a Dalek factory.
Yeah, it's a Dalek factory. Yeah, and one of the best. I mean, one of the surviving scenes from that story because yes, as Time Prophet points out, lots of Troughton stories were lost. Yes, which unfortunately includes most of the original footage of Power of the Daleks. And but one of the scenes I've seen from that scene was it's this scene with this whole room full of Daleks all going, exterminate all humans, exterminate all humans, exterminate, annihilate, destroy. Daleks,
yeah,
destroy.
Which I did saw it while we're actually streaming. Yeah, I think I just I don't know about this, but I think I was lucky to come across this animated show.
Well, it's not an animated show. It's remember, it's basically a restoration or a recreation of what was originally live action. I mean, I've seen this animated version of Power of the Daleks. It's in my opinion, it's really good.
Yeah, and to be honest, the animation kind of looks like it came out from an intro of. Well, it just came out from an intro of Fallout 2.
Huh. Right.
So the animation is a recreation of an episode that is lost.
It is, yeah.
That's unique.
Well, I wouldn't say it's unique, because they've done the same thing with several other Doctor Who stories. I think they did it. They also did it with another story called. I think they also did it with Evil of the Daleks, and they also did another story called. I think it was called the Web in Space. Yeah, the Web in Space.
Yeah. And also, to be honest, I don't know if this triggers you, but I kind of think Doctor Who is better with when it's animated.
I don't. Well, Why would that? You're not the. You think it's better animated than in live action?
Well, I guess.
Well, thing is, most of the time, I would agree with you because because not a lot of the times I actually prefer animated shows over live action shows, but I think but not so much with Doctor Who. And yes, Time Prophet, I actually agree with you on that. It is better live action because especially more of the classic stuff because there have been attempts to do it animated, but they weren't that great.
On animated?
Yeah. I mean, there's two special animated little arcs, little stories that were done several years ago during David Tennant's era I think that really could have been a lot better, but it didn't really properly work in animation, especially the second one. There was a story they did. It was called. I actually got the DVD of it. It was called The Infinite Quest, which was this little kind of a treasure hunt kind of story, which with the 10th Doctor and Martha, and it's basically it was all about basically going on this treasure hunt kind of quest.
I see.
Yeah, because there's basically this. I suppose the word best for it. There's this space pirate called Baltazar, and he was actually voiced by what was his name? The guy who played Giles in Buffy and that headmaster from School Reunion. What was his name? What was the name of Rupert? What was his? No, not Rupert. What was his name? Anthony Head. I think his name was Anthony Head. I think that was him.
I can see there are some CGI animation with the Daleks. A little bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's. No way, you're joking, Time Prophets. oh my god. Anthony Head of the brother called Dick. Really?
Wait, what?
What? Really?
In the wait, let me see the comics. Anthony Head.
Take a look at this.
Yeah, I saw a brother called Dick.
Yeah. Good Lord. Is that true, Time Prophet? Is that true?
I guess so. Yeah, to say at least, say it. Yeah, and I did hear that there's actually one episode about the Daleks in disc 1 of the Ninth Doctor's Doctor Who.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, that's right. We were talking about. We went off the original. We went way off the original topic. We were talking about. You
Rose.
watching Rose. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Rose is Yeah, Rose is actually a great introduction to the Ninth Doctor.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and also we did get some background lore about him.
We did. try and fill in the gap a bit between the end of the classic era and the new one.
And also how he appeared from before the sinking of the Titanic, and also from the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah. There's like all these. Yeah, that guy Clyde, like to pulling up, like doing all this research and thinking of all these conspiracy theories, or coming up with his you know, it's now like following like the legacy of the or legend of this mysterious doctor who appears throughout all of history, bringing death and destruction wherever he goes, and he thinks and then Rose is hanging on his every word, but then every word until he actually says, "I think he's an alien. I think he's a mole. I think he's an alien from another world." And then she's just like, yeah. Then she's just like, no, he's a nut. He's a conspiracy thief, total conspiracy freak.
Yeah, but turns out he is an alien from another world.
Yeah, the thing is, yeah, but the ironic thing is, he was actually pretty much spot on. Yeah.
Yep. And he lived in a place called Gallifrey.
Well, he doesn't live on Gallifrey, but like he lives anywhere and everywhere. All of space and time is his backyard.
And also his blue box.
It says you should read the book Who Killed Kennedy. It is a Doctor Who novel where the Doctor is not in the book. It is really good. I've heard. I see Time Prophet. I do know of. I have heard of Who Killed Kennedy. I have not actually. I have actually kind of read it. I have actually kind of read it. Who Killed Kennedy? I know. I basically know how it goes. I know how it ends. It has a very weird twist ending. But it's not official at all. I think I mentioned it to you, Moises. Who killed Kennedy?
Well, I don't know. Although I did actually saw one scene of.
I mentioned it to someone. I know I did.
Although I actually did see one scene where the Doctor is in the picture where Kennedy has been assassinated.
Well, it's right. Actually, it's yeah. He was supposed to be in the crowd on that day when as Kennedy was driving through Dallas. Yeah.
And I thought about it when the Doctor was actually on anywhere and any time in with this blue box of his. And not that I mentioned it, but when he has the TARDIS, he can travel to any time or any dimension or any universe.
Not exactly any universe, but yeah, he can travel anywhere in the universe at any point in the past or present or future. Yeah.
But not in any other dimension.
It actually not really as such, because the TARDIS isn't really designed to go to other dimensions.
So if that happened.
And here's another thing. Here's another interesting fact that like Doctor Who and the Kennedy assassination actually have a very interesting connection with it, because Well, Doctor Who started in 1963. Well, it actually the very first episode actually first aired. Well, November. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd. Doctor Who first aired on November 23rd, the day after. Yes, time prophet. I know the TARDIS has been to E-space, which is another dimension. It is, but it's supposed to be it's a universe which is like a lot smaller than our universe, and it's very hard to navigate because
So Kennedy has been assassinated by the 22nd of November, while Doctor Who started in the 23rd of November.
Doctor Who started on officially first aired on November 23rd, 1963, and Kennedy was assassinated the day before on November 22nd. I mean, you should know that. You're American. You should.
Oh, I thought about it. Is there actually some kind of paradox that... Is that some kind of effect that just happened when Kennedy's killed?
No. Man, you need a time-sensitive, thorough to navigate E-space.
I actually don't know about this, but I think this is kind of like the Monty effect.
Nobody really because of the Kennedy assassination. No one actually watched. Most didn't really watch Doctor Who when it first aired. So it didn't really take off straight away. But they delayed it for about a week. I think they redid and then reshot some of the first story, and then re-aired it about a week later, and that's when it finally took off properly.
It actually took a week for people to mourn about what happened.
Yeah. But obviously, the whole world was in mourning and shock about the Kennedy assassination. So silly little who'd be interested in a silly little sci-fi show during a time like that. But the real key. Once the first episode aired again about a week after that, about a week later, that's when things really that's when we got first audiences in, but the real genius, the real thing that really caught people's imagination, what really made Doctor Who a household name was, well, my namesake. It was the Daleks. The introduction of
the Dalek. Yep, which is also you, the Dalek.
We have yours was some Kennedy. Yeah. Depending. Yeah, he did a lot, depending on who you listen to, who you ask. Send me a link to what? Oh, right. So, well, thanks for that, Time Prophet. But I said I did already know about this book, and I did kind of mostly know this. I did basically know the story. I did, but thanks anyway. And God, my throat. My throat's getting dry. I need something to drink.
I just ate some yogurt.
It's not. No time. Why do you keep insisting it's official? It's not official. It's a good book. It's an interesting book, but it's not official.
So if the TARDIS would have traveled to any different dimension,
well, if the TARDIS ever actually left its home universe and actually went to a different dimension or different universe, then yeah, it would be extremely difficult for the TARDIS to operate properly in said dimension because
uncharted territory.
Yeah, something like that. Because look what's happened. The whole thing with E-space. Yes, technically the TARDIS was still worked, but they couldn't navigate it because due to the nature of E-space. And then there's what happened. There's what happened with when they went to the alternate universe, with the alternate Earth, with the alternate Cybermen, and then the TARDIS basically was almost nearly completely, almost completely died because it hadn't.
And I'm guessing, then I could assume that the TARDIS barely survived when it landed to the MLP dimension. Yeah, I can imagine a world filled with pretty ponies that the TARDIS had barely survived, and since it exhausted, it just punished the Doctor by turning him into a pony.
Oh man. Well, this little. It's official. It has the Doctor Who logo on. It's official, but not canon. Okay. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine that the TARDIS had enough of the Doctor's dangerous experience that it almost got killed, so it decided to turn him into a pony.
So, yeah, well, I was not. I remember reading Doctor Who MLP fanfics, seeing that happen, seeing him become a pony. I was not opposed to it at the time, reading those because I think it was like that happened because of due to the circumstances of the situation of being in the pony world, but the Doctor can regenerate to anything. Yes, I know, Time Prophet, but that's not. But that's going too far.
Now he says, "My little doctor, lol."
Yeah, very funny, Time Prophet. You think you're such a comedian.
You want to exterminate him?
I'm thinking it may. I'm thinking it may soon be time for me to wrap this stream up because this has been going up a lot longer than I initially planned it to.
By the way, Matt. Well, since the TARDIS couldn't travel to any dimension, but also if the TARDIS, what?
Put him in the cuddy.
Wonder what that means.
Oh, it's a comedy sketch. It's an old comedy sketch which had Daleks in it. And it was like, put him in the cuddy. so freaking hilarious.
But anyways, if the I mean,
oh dear. Moses, we've lost your mic, your connection went. We lost you there for a minute. Went funny. Connection went funny.
Hmm.
What were you saying?
Okay. Hold on. As I'm saying, so if the TARDIS could barely survive when traveled to a dimension, like it just got itself a nosebleed from it.
Look. The point. Well, look. The point is, the TARDIS technically it could go to other dimensions, but it's really not supposed to. It is not designed to do that.
Well, is there a modified module where it can travel to other dimensions?
The Time Lords probably had some other way to do that easily. I mean, the Doctor once actually says it was the Time Lords actually visited alternate worlds. They were able to do it all the time because they watched over all of they basically watched over all of creation.
So you're saying that the Time Lords do have some kind of module or some kind of modification that would allow the TARDIS to travel to any different dimension?
They probably. I wouldn't put it past the Time Lords not to have something like that.
But what if Dragon Sentinel could do the same? I mean, like, I actually know that Dragon Sentinel does have some limitless possibility and technologies. Yeah, perhaps it's possible. I'll have to look in more of the TARDIS.
I would definitely. Look, in the world of Doctor Who, traveling to alternate dimensions, it is possible, but it's extremely difficult, and it is definitely advisable not to do it because it could also be very dangerous.
So I think I have a question.
Yes.
So could the TARDIS be operational if it's actually broken down and abandoned?
Well, the TARDIS it could be left it could just be left
To rot.
it could just be left to rot. Yeah, I mean, it could just be abandoned, and it would probably and it would probably still keep working for a long time. But I think eventually, it would it would eventually start. It would eventually like break down and maybe eventually die completely. Because you know it because the TARDIS isn't just a machine. It is basically a living being, a living thing. So it would eventually just, if it was just left, it would eventually just die.
Like an Autobot.
Or I think I actually read in somewhere that that in some that there's actually that could actually no, this is an external thing. This isn't in the show, but I did read somewhere that there could potentially be like a TARDIS graveyard where old TARDISes like they go to die.
But could one of these TARDISes from the TARDIS graveyard be revived and remain operational?
Well, probably, if there's still like it's like a bit of life left. There's a little bit of life left in it.
Although the reason why I'm actually asking this question is that when a friend of mine, which is also Ace, since he did actually invent the world of old Equestria, well, where an enemy called the Crimson Demons took over, I wonder if it's possible that the Doctor did left the TARDIS somewhere in old Equestria.
It's very, I guess it's possible. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Although the Doctor did say that, although I did actually say that the Doctor did left the TARDIS somewhere, and that TARDIS is actually sitting down and left to rot.
Yeah. We've actually seen examples of we've seen plenty of examples of broken down TARDISes. I mean, remember there was that one time that Matt Smith's Doctor and Idris actually was able to build and use a working TARDIS console. Well, basically from the scraps and junk left lying around of old dead TARDISes. They literally built themselves a TARDIS from junk.
So they managed to get a TARDIS working from all the scrap parts from dead TARDISes.
No, that's not true. Now, Time Prophet, the TARDIS was never living before 1989. The Doctor called it old girl, like someone on Earth had said this to her. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure that in at one point I do remember John Pertwee once actually saying that the TARDIS was alive, or implying the TARDIS was alive, or at least saying when he was talking about the TARDIS being telepathic.
Well, I could imagine some other story where where the Doctor, well, at least a pony version of the Doctor, had retrieved the TARDIS from where he left it.
Troughton went to a special dimension where all storybook characters came to life. The TARDIS broke apart in the story. Yes, it did. It did break apart. We have actually seen the TARDIS break into pieces more than once.
Well, yes. Oh wait, no, I haven't.
Hang on a minute. I think. Okay. I think I'm gonna keep this stream going for probably another 10 minutes. Then I'm gonna wrap it up.
All right. So story ideas.
But if there's like you're saying, Moise, if there was like a future Equestria and the Doctor and his was there, there's a good chance there's a possibility that the TARDIS could be buried, could just be left abandoned and buried somewhere, and it's just been left to fall apart and break down and eventually maybe just die.
Yeah, but in such time like this in alternate Equestria, the Doctor might as well find the TARDIS where he left it.
Yeah. Since we're on the subject of that, Moises, there is a series of MLP Doctor Who fanfic stories that I followed for a long time. I thought they were brilliant, but eventually just came to an end because I think the author had just decided no, I'm done with this. So, and in those stories, the TARDIS did actually adapt and learn how to travel between dimensions as well as through time and space.
Well, that's another story idea to add on the TARDIS the next time it visits Dragon Sentinel.
But that's just in those stories though. Originally, the TARDIS was never meant to travel to alternate dimensions because it just wouldn't work. Like the TARDIS is also isomorphic, and only the TARDIS owner can fly the TARDIS, although this doesn't always follow through as Adric. Let's also use the controls of the TARDIS. Yes, Time Prophet, that's very true. I've heard of that being isomorphic. I mean, if you really think about it, loads of people have been able to use the TARDIS controls other than the Doctor. And yes, sorry, yeah, Adric did fly the TARDIS for did fly the TARDIS a few times. I mean, the first time was completely by accident. It was like just set the TARDIS in motion by. He had no idea what he'd done.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
I think in the next 5 minutes I'm gonna wrap this up because there's a pretty short night. pretty sure my tea will be ready soon.
Yeah.
If it's not already almost ready now. It's also supposed to state of grace. TARDIS is also supposed to have a state of grace where weapons cannot be fired inside the TARDIS, but this went out the window and the Cybermen fired a gun. So yes, that's very true.
So
Also,
the TARDIS.
Yeah, that's the Cybermen. Yeah, the Cybermen gun worked inside the TARDIS. That's true, and Peter Davison actually used it to kill a Cyberman.
So the TARDIS. So the TARDIS can adapt and survive by traveling other dimensions, but in the actual Doctor Who, it cannot travel to other dimensions.
Yeah, it had a bit of help. Well, basically, in those stories I read, it had a bit of help, being able to do that. But yeah, really, seriously, in actual Doctor Who, the TARDIS is not designed to travel to other dimensions and other universes. It just isn't. It can only. It's not meant to, because it just wouldn't. Because it just wouldn't work properly when it goes there, or it would just lose all power.
I think that whole traveling to other dimensions thing could be managed if given the right story and given the right reason.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, if you could write a story like that, write a story about it, I'm sure you could come up with some reason why the TARDIS can traverse dimension between universes. Yeah.
All right, so
I mean, again, normally it's not supposed to, but I think you could probably find a. I mean, this is Doctor Who we're talking about. Anything's pretty much possible. So it could. I think if they found some way to do it, it could be done. Yeah.
Well, yes, it could be done, but
it could be done. Yeah.
Could be possible I think it's possible for the TARDIS to travel to dimensions if it went to Dragon Sentinel.
Dragon Sentinel.
Well, it's actually a whole dimension that a friend of mine, which is Ace, who you probably have encountered on Discord, is actually.
You mean Ace Dragonborn?
Well, yes, he actually has a dimension called Dragon Sentinel, which also that his OC and some of the survivors of old Equestria went to seek refuge.
I see. Right.
And in his story, the Crimson Demons or the Crimson Devil does have the ability to travel to other dimensions,
right?
Just so they could, just for a demonic takeover. But however, his Ace, which is also his OC, does keep these demons at bay.
Right.
And since I came around, and also my OC was added into another fictional story, because it hasn't been written.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be possible that the Doctor could travel to Dragon Sentinel, and the TARDIS would have the ability to travel to any dimension when it got there.
Yeah, if it counts as something, a being that could already travel between dimensions, then yeah, that would certainly do the trick. And And Time Prophet goes on to say that Omega also brought the TARDIS to a different dimension too. In the Three Doctors, that put it into antimatter space. Yes, that did happen. That did happen. Yeah, and it did. Yeah, he did that, and the TARDIS actually it did do that in the antimatter universe where Omega was trapped, and the TARDIS actually worked there. So I think it did. We did see the TARDIS travel in that dimension. So yeah. So again, it has happened before. The TARDIS going to to other dimensions, and it can be done. It just doesn't happen very often, and it's not. And it's not advised. It's not advised that that the Doctor attempts it, but it has happened. It can happen, and I'm sure a good writer could come up with an idea why it could be done safely.
Mm-hmm. And the same would apply would apply in my imagination if the Doctor traveled to Dragon Sentinel. I'm actually pretty sure that Ace would actually provide some kind of modification or modulator that would give the TARDIS the ability to travel to any dimension without even harming it.
He probably could, yeah. If you could find a way for the TARDIS to do it, and still not be able to navigate through that for that dimension and not lose power, then it could be done.
Oh yes. I mean, I'm actually talking about the OC, who can make things possible with his inventions.
Yeah, I think Time Prophet says I think it is the fact that it is possible for the TARDIS to go to other dimensions, but I think it is against Time Lord law.
Yeah, but
it is like the Doctor is not supposed to cross his own timeline, but he breaks these rules all the time. He does. Yes, he does.
Well, he does because, from what I actually heard, that the Doctor was running from his home world.
He was, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to end this here because
it's tea time here in the UK.
It's tea time here. I think my brother just came knocking at the door a minute ago, saying that the tea was ready. So I actually have to go. So
yeah, we'll have to talk later on Discord, Dal.
Yeah, we can talk late. We can talk on Discord later, Moises. But for now. Nice, I'll have a nice curry, darling. Thanks, I love it.
Well, let's put him on the curry.
Right, put him in the curry. So anyway, anyway, I would like to thank everyone who came on the panel. Thank you, Tiger Stripes. Thank you, Potato Raven, who was briefly here but had to dash off. Who else? Thank you, Moises, of course. Thank you everyone in the chat. Hakeem, Canadian Spider-Man, Stephen Ransom, and of course, Son of a Red Shirt, and of course, Time Prophets. Yes, thank you for sticking with us this long, Time Prophet, even though everyone else seems to have just sodded off.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this was well, I think this stream when it started out as one thing, but then it became another thing as it went along. Went completely off the original topic. So, anyway, thank you. But anyway, rest in peace to Kevin. What's his name? Kevin Ransom. No. Keep forgetting his. I keep forgetting his last name. Kevin something.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you.
Well,
Yes,
let's just say animated Batman. Rest in
Yes.
peace, animated Batman.
rest in Kevin Conroy. Thank you, Time
Oh,
Prophet.
thanks.
Yes, Kevin. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. The definitive, the definitive Batman.
Yep. Well, and on that note, from
Yeah.
the surface of Skaro, this is.
No, wait. No, Moises. Let me do it. I do. As you kind of don't look from. Anyway, yeah. Thank you once again. Thank you to everybody. This has been a poignant and also fun stream. So I hope I do it to you all again soon. But for now, yeah. From the surface of Skaro, this is Dalek 451 signing off.
Signing off.
I will see you all next time. Have a good. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you there. Hope to see you soon. Good night, everybody.
Night.